Do you remember how buying a home in 2024 was like a Black Friday brawl at Best Buy? This year might be different. Today we're going to talk about market stats in the Calgary area. Check it out. Okay, so my goal here is to not have you fall asleep. Market stats can be boring. You've seen every realtor you know post this CREB infographic on their social media feed. Today we're going to go through it. Let's get started. We're going to first talk about benchmark pricing. So the new benchmark price for Calgary and area is $583,000. This represents an increase of 2.8% year over year. So what this means is prices are still rising, but slower than 2024. Higher inventory means the prices will cool off, but we're not seeing a large reduction in prices. It's like inflation at the grocery store. Prices aren't rising, but they're not falling either. If you're hoping to buy a home for 2020 prices, you're out of luck. But if you were scared of another 10% price hike, the good news is that we're slowing down. Sales. In January, there was 1,451 sales. This marks a decline from the previous year of about 12%. That just means less homes sold in January of this year than of the previous year. And of course, with those sales down 12%, it just means that buyers aren't as aggressively buying homes in this first month of the year. This combination, though, of less sales and more listings means that sellers might have to adjust their expectations. Certainly doesn't mean a crash, as the prices are holding up, just less homes have sold. It's funny, imagine a dating app where everyone last year was swiping quickly through it. This year, they're actually reading the bios. So sellers, you might have to make an effort now, actually price it right, maybe declutter, do some staging. It's on you, because buyers have options now. All right, this next one is months of supply. 2.51 months of supply. This is a huge jump. It's over 90% more than last year. With that, what does that mean? It means that last year we were in a historically low supply, and this year we're catching up to what is normal. So a true balanced market is 3 to 4 months. We're not quite there yet. More supply, of course, means less bidding wars. The good properties will still sell. There's certainly segments of the market that is very difficult to get into. The first-time buyer, they're at the lower price points. That move up people are going to want that home. Move down people as well. So lots of price point issues that hopefully the buyers can now find something. So again, think of this year versus last year. Last year, it was a restaurant where you had to wait for a table because there was none. This year, there's a whole lot of open tables. So we've got more homes for sale. The market hasn't really chilled. It's progress, but don't expect sellers to be giving away their homes at this point. Next up is the one that people really focus on a lot because benchmark price is an average that still to this day I can't really explain well. But new listings, it's very important to see how many markets are coming. There's 35.5% more listings in January than there was the previous January. This is a huge increase. More sellers are finally entering the market. The lower interest rates maybe have them moving up in the market. The prices have expanded here in Calgary as well, so their home is not necessarily the most it's ever been worth, but it's certainly close to it. Buyers have a lot of choices now. They're not just fighting over the scraps of what was left from the bidding wars of last year. They actually have choices. So this ties into my intro. 2024 was like Black Friday at Best Buy. You're fighting for those door crasher deals. 2025 is now like Costco on a weekday. The shelves are stocked. There's tons of options. You might even get to sample the wieners that are in aisle 24. And by samples, I mean actually have conditions on your deal. Because last year in our market, if a house was listed at 8 a.m., you'd have to leave work, be there as soon as you could, write a $50,000 offer before noon, and then still lose out the home anyway. This year, buyers are going to have some options. All right, inventory. 68.6% more inventory this year. Ties into what we've been talking about here already. There is more supply. There are more options for buyers. Homes for sale is more than double this January to last January. It's going to mean more homes sitting on the market because buyers have choices. Things aren't all going to sell the first day that they're on the market. So this will eventually have some price impacts where it will have downward pressure on a lot of pricing. This year, it's like a movie theater where you have options of where you want to sit, versus last year, there was no space for anyone extra. All right, next up on the infographic is DOM, days on market. This is a gauge to see the average of how long homes have been sitting on the market before they sell. Days on market are now 41. This is 21% more than last year, which makes sense. Things were flying off the shelf last year, selling in 20 days. People have done their due diligence, taken 2 weeks to do that. So this one really makes a lot of sense if you look at it. Homes are taking longer to sell, which means buyers have time to decide. But 41 days is not still crazy high or anything, and it's not a buyer's market yet by any means. And for my sellers out there, I know 41 days seems like an eternity, but it's not the end of the world here. Breathe. It's not a market crash. This is normal. This is a new normal. It's where we're at. That's the infographic. I know a lot of people just post it. They don't explain what's going on. The market is shifting. It's not crashing. There's just a bit more balance. Buyers have more options. Prices aren't really falling either. Sellers, you got to do the work. You got to be strategic. You might have to stage. You might have to actually price it properly, not 50 grand under, hoping for over market offers. Every year, Krebs does a forecast. How does January tie into the Krebs forecast? Well, in a lot of ways, they were right. This isn't a random shift. There's more inventory, a slight slowdown in sales, and stable prices. January stats are proving that they were right. If this keeps up, spring 2025 might be the most balanced market we've had in a long time. But if sellers start adjusting their prices, we'll see you next month.